I'm cutting the root and the top end by half, and then for less waste, you have to cut it like that.
You also learned the knife skills na, no? Galing.
And what that will do is we have now onions that have been cut in half, and without the root section in the top section. Now what you want to do is, the root section will be in front, and then you start slicing in half like this. I mean slicing like this, sideways.
Do you want me to preheat our salad master double griddle?
Oh, sure.
Assistant po ako.
And what this will do is, when you slice the onions like this, you'll see that you'll have nice strips from the onion. And now they'll just break down in a while they're cooking. So no need to break them down already. So I'll just proceed and do that also for the other for the other halves of the onions.
It's also good to have a good knife, no? Yeah.
And by
Go ahead. Yeah.
and by the way, about knives, if you wanna be efficient and quick at working in the kitchen, I suggest having a good and sharp knife, because if you have a dull knife, then it will be harder to cut stuffs, which gives you more risks of injuries. Because if you work with a dull knife, it wouldn't be able to slice through clean. It might slip from the object you're cutting or whatever. So it's better suggested to have a sharp knife, and make sure that it's a good quality one too.
And the salad master,
Yeah.
of course.
I'm hungry.
And we're in the last half of our onion.
Nash, ikaw naman, come here.
Oh, Nash,
What is your contribution when Kuya is cooking? Come here. We have also have a special guest, our taste tester.
Na!
Are prepared to eat?
Not yet.
That's-
There you go. Now we have all our onions sliced, and then now we have nice long strips of these onions. So now we want to season them just a little bit of salt, just like get up the lids on.
Yeah, it's important to take off the lid now.
Just do like one, like what do you call it again, like twist there.
Okay.
Okay, and then you just make sure that the seasoning goes through.
Wow.
I'm learning from him.
And now we wait. Now while we wait for that, we'll get the ground beef. Wait, this. Oh, is there a scissors?
Yes, pull back.
Bibig ka lang.
There. There.
Ito, para
Yeah. We
malaman.
have our salad master scissors, and they're sharp and it's easy and efficient to work with it. So now let's slice open our ground beef. I suggest when you get your ground beef and you want the perfect consistency of and ratio of fat and lean meat, I suggest you do 80-20 or something a little bit over that. What I'm using here is 73 lean and 27% fat. That gives a lot of flavor, really good flavor. Gonna make this food delicious.
Even when you're in the Philippines, can you record some episodes for our show, for our vlog?
Sure, if I have time, kaya damo-damo kami homework.
Ay, ganon?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Grabe mag-stress school naman.
Online daan.
now that we've opened our ground beef, we're going to get them and form them into balls of ground beef. There. So what you want to do is get your hand like this, cover it up around like this until you got a good ball. But then it depends on the size of your bun. If it's big, then you make your patty big too because we're going to be smashing it. So it might be a small smash and it will be too small for the burger. So what you want is that it's in the good size for the patty. And then I mean bun. So since I'm using Hawaiian buns and they look like they're not too big, so I'm not gonna make the patty too big. But then if you're going to be using like brioche buns, they might be big. So you have to make sure that you can prep bigger patties for the bun. So we'll just keep on making these until it's enough for all of those.
Naturalist, minimalist chef. Gonna be a great lunch. What can you say?
Hungry.
Then join us now. Come
No.
on,
No.
junior chef, sous
No.
chef, now.
Hungry.
You join us.
I wanna eat
So
lang.
they can learn.
This is our appetizer.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah, this burgers are comfort food and appetizer. Makes me happy, you know.
Do you like making savory or soup dishes?
It depends on my craving.
Oh, yeah.
Depends on my craving. If I want sweet, then I'll make a dessert like creme brulee.
Oh.
But then if I want something savory and umami, then something meaty will do.
Steak.
Or like a soup na with rich flavor, di ba lang? Na do may broth give and
You
then
have no plans to replace your cook at home. You wanna keep her job still.
yeah.
Okay.
And then kaya when I'm busy, what do you call this again? When I'm busy, I don't really have the time not to cook after that because I also have
Didn't see
swimming
that.
training back at home because I'm prepping for a swimming competition soon.
Oh. Yeah, my nephew too, Chance. So he loves to cook and he's also a swimmer.
Oh,
I should connect you too.
yeah.
He loves making burgers too. Probably what time is it in Texas right now? He lives in Texas, in Dallas.
Oh, Dallas.
Yeah, so I saw his latest burger creation as well. So you smash it as you put it, as you
Yeah,
grill
when you
it?
cook
Okay.
it.
Oh, okay. So sometimes you see that the flavor of the food, you retain it if you don't do too much on your ingredients.
Yeah.
No? Tama? Mhm.
Don't be too hard on your ingredients.
Oh, diba?
Yeah.
And put a lot of love.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's no secret ingredient to your food. Love is.
No, diba? Rinig niyo po yun.
Yeah,
Okay.
Nash, you say the quote, no? Like the one in Kung Fu Panda. What's the secret ingredient to the noodles? Nash?
Nothing.
Nothing. What is the true secret ingredient?
Nothing.
No, but what is it? The
I
true
don't
one?
know.
It's you, right?
Yeah, it's you.
You.
Oh.
So if you're cooking, and
Parang
then,
ratatouille rin, right?
yeah, also in Kung Fu
Yeah.
Panda.
Yeah, see?
So,
See,
So-
hindi naman talaga it's wrong. It's not wrong to watch a lot of movies. You'll learn
Yeah.
from them too.
yeah, there's morals. And then also, when you think that your food is not good, think that you worked a lot, you worked hard for this food. And then working hard for this food is it's just the key to making it good.
This is Kaiser
So if you have
calling.
enough time to enjoy it, you will really enjoy it. And you will actually savor it. So now I've prepared the patties. I think I'm gonna crack the tray is full, but maybe if I can save a little bit more space.
We're gonna transfer it anyway.
Yeah.
We have to pan.
There, I think I can still make more. Since there's also a lot of buns, you'll need a lot of patties too. Nash, join us.
No.
You're a special guest, Bala Nash. You join us.
No.
So do you like to cook too, Nash?
He helps me a lot, especially, and he knows how to, what do you call it again? Like, make canned corned beef like better. Yeah, and then after that, I taught him my secret egg fried rice recipe. He knows it, but I think he forgot. But it's fine, I still know it. He'll remember soon.
Nice naman.
I don't cook, I just eat what you cook.
Yeah, but still, you still help me. Like mince the garlic bit. You really like doing that, right? Even that small thing, you're adding love to your food.
No?
Oh, makes food taste better.
Also doing this.
Wow, I'm pretty sure your parents are so happy that you love each other so much. No. See
Yeah.
how proud your brother is.
Also doing this as well.
There we go. We're almost done with our patties. Looks like we finished half of it now. So let's just open it up a little bit
Again.
more. There we go. I think this is enough. There, we're almost done. 2 more patties left.
Okay. I'm gonna put that in the
They're just the perfect amount. Oh, I need a little bit more. There you go. Now we have
Perfect.
all our patties.
Okay, so ano gagawin natin susunod?
So we'll put this in a ziplock so that it won't what we call it again. It won't get pan on us.
Huwag mo palimutan to. Okay, next step.
So now we have to get like I think a skillet or like a skillet, the one with the salad master skillet.
Okay.
I'll be using that to caramelize the
Sure.
onions.
Okay.
So since I just touched raw food, you have to wash because there might we need to what do you call it? Make sure that we have proper hygiene so that it is healthy for our consumers. Yes, so now that we washed our hands after touching the raw patties, now we're gonna work again the onion. Just give it a little bit more toss so that more the seasoning is in.
Wait, what's the seasoning?
I just put a little bit of salt.
Oh,
You need a cover or no?
Oh, no need for the cover.
No need for the cover.
Yes.
Okay, leave that 12-inch. I'm looking for a pretty one.
There.
So Nathan, why do you love Salad Master so much?
Because when you cook with it, it's very efficient. And then it saves you more time and makes the food you make more healthy. And yeah, I love it. I just love it.
Narinig niyo po yan.
Yeah.
From a
So,
kid.
call us to know more about the tools that Chef Nate is using. Great Nate.
Nate be great.
Nate the Great.
Here, let me give this just one more chop so that there'll be better strips of onions because there might be some big chunks left in here. There you go.
Okay.
Now we have the onions ready. We're going to be putting a little bit of just regular oil. Any oil would do. Maybe olive oil or canola oil. But today I'll be using something special. Ghee. If you don't know what ghee is goat butter. And this one's special because this is clarified butter. So it can cook in really high heat since it's clarified. The fat won't burn in this. So I'll be using this because it's special and it's special butter and you'll be needing a spoon to scoop this first.
Free sa Panda Express. Free sa Panda Express.
Wag mo ako i-fire, ha?
Doon sa Panda Express.
Here's our goat butter. We won't get
Doon sa Panda Express.
just enough to cover the pan. I can already smell it from here. It smells really good.
Yeah, smell it from here.
We have our handle.
Oh, yes. There you go. You want those? Perfect.
And then I'll be using this also for the
Sure.
just placing it there. There. The pan is not super hot yet, but it's enough to melt the ghee. So we won't be making the pan too hot so that the onions won't burn. So we just have to make the onions a little bit more hot. And then, I mean the pan a little bit more hot so that the onions can cook in there. Oh, sorry. And once you hear that sizzle,
See, no, the more pretty fast, di ba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
the moisture is gonna lose. When you hear sizzle, that means there's moisture. And what we want is to reduce that moisture, make the onions soft and less crispy, and to the point where the onions are caramelized. Not too high heat, but where it brings out the flavor, its true flavor, the sweetness of the onion. So now we have to mix this just for a while, maybe around a few minutes, 5 or so, and then the onions will get more soft. Oh yeah, and here's one pan tip when you're cooking. Make sure that the handle of the pan faces to you. You don't want the pan to be like this. We want to make sure that you can lay your food away from you and can set you a distance so that you won't be like the oil that's like bubbling won't like hit you or get burnt. Yeah. Exactly, Nash. Very good. High five. Nice. There, see, we can hear the sizzle, and that sizzle means that the onions are doing really good. And you can, I know you're not here right now, but if you can smell it, it smells amazing. The caramelization is bringing out a lot of flavors, and and then the color from being white, it's getting a little bit more tanner, and that tanning is natural in the caramelization of the onion. So we just have to keep mixing it. And as you can see, it's getting softer. The onions are getting slightly softer. Then other than the onions getting softer, we also know that we're caramelizing the onions to reduce the moisture and bring out its flavor. So what you will see if you observe the onions from being the raw onions up to its caramelized point, you will see that the onions, first, they will usually be like huge and take up a lot of space in the pan. After a while, you'll see that it has reduced. It's because of the moisture inside it. It's going to evaporate. And that makes the onions bring out its true flavor, the caramelized. There, look. You can see the caramelization. It's already happening. There's the browning and what you call it? There's browning and fanning and the softening of the onions. And one trick I'd like you to practice if you're going to cook is tossing.
Wow.
There, you toss very nice. Gives you more skill, and it's actually pretty efficient, and it's a good technique to keep in you. Now you have a weapon to bring when you cook. Your skill of tossing. Now let me show you how you do it again. If your skillet is heavy, try to hold it with 2 hands and then just lift it and swing it like that. There you go. Then if you're like not too confident, just do a little bit of small tosses, like just small. But don't be overconfident, because overconfidence, all the onions will fall. No more in the pan. Wala na. That's all right. will see how the raw onions are like white and green. Now look, it's starting to brown.
Very nice.
Yes.
Wow, I'm learning a lot, Mate Grace. I am learning a lot. See? This is amazing.
And then, but the onions are not fully soft yet. What we can do to help with the caramelization is to add some sugar. The sugar helps a lot with the caramelization. But don't put too much sugar. You might give your family members diabetes. Just put like a tad bit, around like 3 to 5 pinches maybe. I think that's all. There you go. Almost there.
That's good that you're very conscious too about your health when you're cooking, huh?
We can hear the sizzle. The onions are losing moisture. And as you see, from the onions, earlier it was around maybe 2/3 of the pan's height. It was covering around that much. But now as you see, the onions are, their moisture is being reduced. And now you can see that the onions are getting smaller and smaller. And now it's covering around half the pan na lang.
Very nice.
You can make small tosses, but they'll be but quick and efficient like this. So just a few small tosses. But if you want to go a little bit overboard, you can make some big tosses like that. Yeah. Or it's fine if you just keep mixing. Tossing is not a requirement, kid. You just mix around, but it's better to have a trick up your sleeve, right? There. Now the onions are really, really brown, but they're not yet done caramelizing. This is just the beginning. It's not yet up to its maximum sweet point. So right now, there, you can see that the onions are getting really soft. They're bendy, unlike before, they were really crunchy.
You can tell that you put a lot of effort in loving your food. No?
Yes. And that's the reason why I cook. Because I wanna love the food, love my food more. And see others who eat my food, their happy, they smile. It makes me want to cook more. That's my source of motivation. There you go. Awesome. Very comfortable to toss with Salad Master. The angles are really, really amazing. Oopsies. Our paper spilled. There. The onions have really, really, really reduced. And you can see that the moisture is coming out of the onions. The onions are sweating. And because we put all that salt earlier, when we seasoned the onions, like when they were raw and right before we put them in the pan, you can see that salt brought out the moisture. Because the purpose of salt is to bring out two things: moisture and flavor. Without salt, no flavor. Salt is like your first, it's like the most common seasoning, the king of all seasoning. Almost all foods have salt in it. And salt makes it all better. So since we put salt, the moisture of the onions are coming out even more. So that means our caramelizing will be faster than normal. So if you don't put salt, the caramelizing will be a little bit slower. Like, for it to be fully caramelized, it will be around like, I don't know, like if you want it the maximum sweetness, the maximum of maximum, around 40 minutes to 1 hour maybe. Like, but it has to be really low heat. But what I'm doing is not to fully caramelize it. I want also a little bit of texture. I want also crunchiness, but sweet also in the onions. So we're just gonna do it a little bit more, and I think we need more ghee because yeah, a little bit more because the pan is getting a little bit dry, so that the onions will caramelize even quicker. I'll just put like maybe a tablespoon or half a tablespoon of ghee. There you go. Thank you. Then just mix that around. Now the ghee or the butter. I specifically chose ghee because ghee tastes amazing. Literally amazing. Makes the onions fry quicker, makes them softer and tender, and maybe you can say it also boosts in the sweetness of the onions. So there you can see it's getting really browning. If you had observed from the start of me caramelizing these onions, you can see that they were just raw. But now, look at this, it's really, really brown. But then even though cooking them for a while, people might think that wait, shouldn't those be burnt? Maybe that's what people might have thought. But the key is medium-low heat. It won't burn the onions or like cook the outside. It will cook direct to the center of each strip of onions. Makes all of the flavor in the onions sweat out. So now, I just want it not fully caramelized. But if you want it fully caramelized, then go. But what I'm aiming is for texture and flavor. So what I'm thinking is leaving a little bit of crispiness into it. So there, I'm almost done with my onions. But just caramelize it if you can caramelize it more if you want to. Maybe around 3 minutes, and then maybe these onions are ready. So now while waiting for the onions, maybe I'll just wash the bowl so that none of the raw taste, so that none of the raw taste will like go into the onions. Almost done now. We're just gonna wait now for the bowl. So it's done. There you can smell the smell. The steam coming out. It's amazing. The onion has a really, really good smell. As in, it's very fragrant. Maybe you want it as no. It smells really good. Okay, so now let's give it a little final toss. There. So now the onions are ready. Wait lang, where's the stove?
The one in the front of
Here?
there. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
I've killed the heat now. We're gonna let the onions rest in the pan for a few seconds. So while the onions are resting, I just wanna say that, did you observe the onions well? Because if you did, you would see the browning of it. You would observe the smell, but then, I know you're not here right now, but the smell is amazing. And then, you've seen that the onions have reduced very much. Look, before, the onions were almost full to the pan, full to the brim. But then, because of reducing it and bringing out the flavor, the onions are caramelized, but they have reduced. But it's fine. There, now we put the onions in there. Let me clean the pan.
What do you want to be when you grow up, Nate?
I don't know. I really want to be a chef.
Okay.
I'm dentist.
And probably, have a restaurant in Iloilo, Ross City. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then now we have our partially caramelized onions. But go on, you can caramelize it even more. But I'm just gonna bring it up to this point. Yeah. So now that we've caramelized the onions, now the next step, we'll be toasting the buns. Yeah, wait.
Preheated it.
Oh.
So you toast the buns first before you make the burger. Okay, perfect.
So now we have the buns here. I think they're Hawaiian rolls. It says here Hawaiian rolls. I got it from Walmart. You can get any buns, American buns but then the best that I would suggest is brioche buns. Brioche buns are the most amazing buns. So now I'll be cutting this up.
Gagamitin mo pa itong pan na to, hindi na? What are you gonna use for the burger?
I'm gonna be using
Okay,
these
perfect.
two.
So I'll soak this. Pakita na natin mamaya kung paano din this. Ayan. Bango.
That happens to the house also. Yeah. Now we have our Hawaiian buns here. Oh goodness sake. It broke down.
Excuse me.
Yes, so here we have around 4 buns. Let's break them apart first. There you go. Now we have 4 of them. So what you want to do is cut them in half. There you go. This is the top, this is the bottom. There you go. Nicely done. Half and half. Now as you can see for these buns, I suggest buy good quality buns. Look at the fluffiness of these. It puffs up immediately, and there's the right amount of ratio of fluff. As you can see, if you're going to look closely, there's tiny air holes in there. And that's what you want, the fluffiness in the bun. So I'm going to be cutting this up now. Maybe I'll get some more. There you go.
How long have you been cooking, Nathan?
Around maybe if you're going to include the time where I always help my mom cook, around let's say 4 or 3 years. But then when I started independently cooking, like where I make my own recipes sometimes and stuff, I could say a year and a half ago.
How old are you now?
I'm almost 13. I'm 12 this year, but my birthday's on June, so yeah, I'm turning 13. There you go. We have our buns. They're not the most perfectly shaped, but I'm happy with them.
And it will go to the same spot.
Yeah, it will go to the same spot in your belly. Now show your belly. Now show your belly. That's where all my food went to. There. That's where all
Nashi, Nash, how do you like Aya Nathan's cooking?
How much would you rate it? Godly.
Godly.
Out of 10, Nash, how much?
1 trillion.
Wow. That's how he loved the cooking of Nathan.
Now, the pan has been preheated while I was caramelizing the onions.
It's a double griddle.
Yeah, double dip. So we'll be putting some in here. Try to spread it around so that you'll be spreading it around so that like every side of the bottom will open. So if you're going to look for healthy butter, you should always get ghee. Ghee is very healthy. It comes from goat milk, and then you overmix goat milk. It will be separated. There's the butter and the buttermilk. So that's the result when you overbeat milk. There. So we have the butter. There. So now that we have our pan coated, we're going to be using this. And you can actually use any spatula, but then I'm really comfortable with using this.
It's so thin.
So here, I'll demonstrate it to you. So these are your buns. Top, the bottom, and then try to organize it. So like the top on the left and the bottom on the right. There.
And the ones were small.
Yeah, they're small, but it's a lot. Almost on one bite, huh?
Almost or for
And then-
real?
Yeah, one.
Now, we're going to what we call toast the buns and make sure they're crispy. So I think we should like
We can add more. You want to add more? Or you're good?
maybe I'll just do this for now because
Okay,
this is
sige.
the demo part just for this. So don't be afraid to touch the buns while you're cooking because the heat is not too high. It's just a medium heat.
Yeah, just
So what you want to do is just constantly check there. See, the butter has absorbed now. Now we're going to wait till the butter that has been absorbed browns. And that gives the crispy toastiness of this. Here. And then, some suggestion, you try to press the pan a little bit so that the air bubbles that are sizzling from the ghee, they will what do you call it? They will pop and toast it faster. It gives it more crisp. So you try pressing it down. There, I can feel the air bubbles in here. They're popping in here. You want to ride it fast now, no?
Yes. Yes.
There.
Let's go for a run.
There, the bun is starting to toast. It's not fully toasted yet. You can see here the caramelization also of this. The butter, it's browning, it's nutty and savory flavor. There, it's starting to crisp up, but it's not yet fully toasted. So we just have to wait a tad bit more. So I didn't really fully coat the pan. Here, maybe I'll coat it around here also.
So do you sometimes use butter, regular butter?
I use it sometimes, but then not really. But I like the salted butter. Its taste is really good. But I always use unsalted butter because sometimes it might overwhelm the taste of the food because we just want to keep the seasoning, not extra seasoning. Because if you don't work in the butter factory, you don't know how much butter, how much salt is added in the butter.
Correct.
So we have to make sure that we get a healthy butter or a healthy oil. There you go, perfect browning. You can hear from the metal, very crispy. Now let's let it rest a little bit more because there's some sides here that aren't fully caramelized yet. Ooh, nice toasting. There, just like a minute more, a few seconds more, and we're ready. There, the bun is really fluffy. It will be very nice to eat these already. But we have to wait, Anay, for the patties so that it will be tastier. So now we've seen there's a very good crust and toasting. See, that's amazing, right? So now let's scoop them all out. Put them in here. These are the boxes. Okay, there you go. Now this is the next batch. We'll use the next one. There you go. Okay, now we're going to toast these. So now the pan has been fully coated and maybe we should call it, I think, seasoned. Yeah, the pan has been coated and seasoned already.
Smells so good.
Yeah, the clarified gold butter is so it smells so good.
something but
Kinano?
masay ni Anne.
But I'm not really sa cooking yet. Because it tastes good in the pancakes. But don't follow what I did where I
Unhealthy.
the butter before. There, then let's put the pan up. There, the pan has been coated now. It's at its perfect ratio of coating. The second try is always the charm. But the toasting is there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really impressed with the toasting.
Okay, this is not
These
his
are
first
good
time.
to
That's why
It
it's
should
sweet.
be. The pan is starting to toast because the buns are starting to toast. As you can see, the pan is slightly more hotter than earlier because I increased the heat just a tad bit. But you can see there's a good toasting in this. But you let it go more so that it can absorb the butter. There, the amazing toasting in this.
It's the work of the double griddle salad master.
Yeah, it's the work of the double griddle. So while waiting for it to toast, what I'm thinking is to cut up more buns. But I don't know. Sadly, there's no more space in there. So yeah, we're just gonna work with these first. You just get a bigger board soon. So while waiting, I'm just gonna keep checking it around. Ooh, nice crust. You can see this is almost ready. Look at the caramelization. It's almost everywhere in the bun. There you go. Let's check the others. Nice. This is what you want to see when you're going to toast. Okay, this one doesn't really have much, but it's fine. It's fine. Okay, they're still toasting and it's pretty good. You just add a little bit more ghee after this. Then another suggestion is you try to wipe it around so that the buns you try to wipe it around like this so that it spreads. The ghee spreads. There you go. There. Well, I must say this is about ready.
Perfect.
There. This too. This is about ready. So now we have the bun, the bottom, the bun, and the bottom. Here's the buns. At the top bun, bottom bun, top bun, bottom bun. And you can see from all of them, looks like I did a pretty good job on toasting them.
Yes.
Yes. So now, let's work on my favorite part. The patties.
Wow.
So, if you want the patties to hold up together, we work with high heat so that they won't break apart or fall apart underneath. So, can I borrow what you call this again? What I forgot what you call it. The mitten.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So that I can hold it. Here. Thank you. Here you go. I'll get on. Now we're just gonna wait for the heat to rise. And since this has a really, really good ratio of fat to lean, we don't need to add ghee in this. Because the fat in here will render and melt. And when we smash it, the juices and the fat will come out to the point where the patty is cooking in its own fat. So beef plus beef, better beef. Yeah. So we're just going to wait for the pan to heat first and oh there, it's ripping hot now. So we'll prepare our seasonings now. Here's the tray. And can I also borrow what you call this here? Can I also wait, is there parchment paper?
Before I run out. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So make sure you can work with the right tools. You can work with the right tools. So first, this is going to be a demonstration, but we're going to be using just 2 patties for the whole. So here's what you you put it in the pan. You hear the sizzle. That's amazing. And then smash it like there's no tomorrow. There.
Wow.
Kita nyo, pwede nyo na bigger ng pan na. Okay, it's so small. There. Here's the other one. Smash it like there's no tomorrow.
So then you just season it while you're cooking it.
While it's cooking. There you go. Thank you. There. As you can see, the beef is cooking in its own fat. And while that's happening, you have to season it while it's cooking.
So how come we don't season it while it's still on this?
It's so that the salt doesn't melt too much because there's also because of the ratio of fat. So therefore just add a tiny bit. You don't want it to be too bitter. Then after, cook it up. Give it nice caramelization there.
No flour, nothing, and the burger held together. Yeah, see, right food, right tool, right technique.
Yeah.
Huh?
So, I need to open the this is important. Yeah, so now we'll wait, and then we're going to be needing a cap.
A cap?
May I borrow this?
Yes. Cover.
Yeah, we're going to be using the Salad Master pan cover, so that the steam of the patty is cut off, and we can cover up the steam that's like really, really hot, and that will help melt the provolone cheese pasta. Can I get another one?
That's pretty quick, huh?
Yeah.
Goodness.
There. We're just gonna move it a bit there so that we can cover all this up. Cover up with provolone. And since it's steaming, use everything in the pan to your advantage. The steam. No need to add anything else, like a flamethrower or anything. Just use the steam. And the steam, look, see? It's already melting. I just put it in there for like 10 seconds. Okay. Okay, so now let's get this again. There you go. We're going to leave that in for the next ones. Right. There.
Wow, so quick.
Wait, where's the alligator? So now we grab this. And
Diretso na?
yeah. Oh yeah, we're going to need the sauce. We're going to be making the sauce.
Oh, wow.
Oh, there's a sauce.
Yeah. Okay. So this is just the demo. Well, I'll be working on this for and a little.
Yes.
So maybe we can kill this.
Okay.
There. What I want to show you is for the sauce.
Size niya, oh.
For the sauce, we'll be needing ketchup and mayo and a tiny bit of sugar. That's all. That's the sauce. My secret special sauce. That's all.
Ketchup.
Yes, please.
And you want regular mayo, Japanese mayo, vegan mayo.
Japanese mayo, please.
Japanese mayo. See?
There you go.
So, in a bowl.
For my preference, when it comes to mayo, I always like Japanese mayo because it's not too bitter or too sour. It's just the perfect ratio. And it has this tad bit of sweetness to it. So that's what I like about Japanese mayo. So we put, I just measure this just by trying to look at it. This is one big, we'll be needing, for just like one serving of the burger, or the mini burger, you just have 1 tablespoon of mayo. And then the ketchup, also 1 tablespoon. And then, the sugar.
Sugar.
Okay, there's a sugar. And then we'll be getting just a tiny pinch, maybe 2 pinches. There. Then that's your special sauce. Just mix it up. But I'll be adding more because there's a lot of us.
Nash smash burger.
Nashi, you're excited, huh? You starving?
There you go.
So mayonnaise, ketchup.
That is sugar.
There you go. That's good. And just mix it all together. Yeah, go mix, man. You're my sous chef.
Oh, hold the bowl. Hold the bowl.
I thought it's Tita May now.
No, just a helper.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mix it a little bit more. There's still a little bit and then we're just going to keep the sugar in there. Now that's ready. We get our bun, our top bun and the bottom bun, and then to the top bun, just get a tiny bit of this special sauce. So this, cover it around the top. Or preferably, you can put it at both sides. But I like both sides, so that's what I'm going for. Now we have both sides. We're going to be adding, excuse me, Nash, the patties. Yay! Time to eat!
Someone is excited. Sakto yung ano niya, oh.
The perfect
Yeah, you know.
double stack snacks.
Double? Wow!
And then?
I'm wondering who's gonna go.
And then, don't forget the caramelized onions. Hopefully you won't forget it. Like, I barely remember it. I'm putting the onions in there. Since it's spilling around. That's fine. Crack an egg. Crack an egg. Crack an egg. Oh my gosh, next time how to smoke it.
And start preparing. Maybe take a photo of that.
This is my all-time favorite.
We'll have our, yes.
Yeah, sit down. I'll make you.
You hold on. You eat there. You eat there. Yeah, because
Taste like, okay? So now,
You be deciding.
yeah, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna have our judge taste. Great. Wow. Nate the Great Smash Burger. Ang ibang po.
ano, what is that? Hey, you stay in the camera.
Careful. Smash Burger. Are we gonna go crazy? Crazy.
Is that how good?
Yay! So, could you say that it's a success? Is it a success? Siyempre daw siya.
Syempre, Nashi, how does it taste?
So, we're gonna
Tell
go
us.
ahead and cook. How does it taste like? Godly. Wow. We have a new description of a mash burger. So we're gonna go ahead and cook everything. And we're gonna enjoy this. And
For them, walang ganito yan. Ay.
winner daw, winner. Winner. Okay.
Oh, ikaw naman daw, Tita May, makook.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll make it as an appetizer while I'm making the red curry. Di ba?
Oh.
Wala. Ayun. Ha?
Yeah.
Hindi ko siya beans.
He can't have beans. May G6PD siya.
Ah.
Oh. Oh,
I'm excited to try
yeah,
it.
and he knows what he can't.
I memorized it by heart.
Oh, I'm gonna record you, Tita May, for the vegan curry too.
Yes, Yes. Ooh, this is exciting.
Where's the for the top? Ito.
Yun yung double griddle na yun. Wala na kasi. I don't know why.
Maganda pala,
Kahit
no?
yung
And it's
square
thick.
griddle, wala. Tsaka thick kasi pag ano ka, kasi yung 11 inch, pag nagluto ka ng bacon, tumatalsik yung
Oh,
oil
yan
eh.
hindi.
Yan eh kasi mataas eh.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yung oil nag-i-stay sa loob na ano.
Ay, isa lang galin eh. For them, walang tugani.
For demo. Now he's gonna make the other.
Usok tayo.
Yeah, Nathan, you're in live. Oh, you're still making it. So I'm gonna interview you. You have your titas watching you.
Yeah, ano yung live ba siya?
Ooh.
Who's watching? Saan ang like mo?
Ano, YouTube.
YouTube. I like YouTube.
Na YouTube.
Galing. Wow, look at that.
That's what we should do.
Oo nga eh.
Ang yung sa'yo, i-live ko sa Facebook.
Ay, you want water? No, kami ano dyan? You want flavored water?
Nathan, you like the double griddle?
Yes.
Yeah, it's different. I don't even have that. It's nice, huh?
Just very amazing. There. Then we get our provolone cheese. Oh, yes. Use the steam. Use the steam to your advantage. Oh my god. Okay, then after a few seconds, look, it's already nice. We're letting it melt a little bit. You can
So how do you know it's ready to flip?
after you season it, because when heat is high and you have to work quick with it.
I know.
Oops.
Now we have the cover.
Oh. Can you make one for Tito Don? Tito Don would like to try it. Nauna pa si Nashi, ah. Patty lang, no bread lang kay Tito Don. Single patty. Double. That was double for Nashi.
Single lang nimo.
Yeah, single na.
Okay. Who else pag it wants to single lang?
Pakakita na.
Very stretchy. We're just gonna kill the heat first.
Turn off the heat.
They keep cooking. I'll just put the... I'll put the...
I am trying to flavor water.
Nashi, you like it so much, you want more?
Parang ano na siya, parang topping lang talaga.
Topping.
It's God. I have tried the flavored water.
Sige, busy pa
Then the
si
sauce
Aya.
for the sauce.
So that was my 12-year-old nephew, and he can cook, and he loves Salad Master. It's the best cookware. This is the sous chef, Nashi. We'll see you in our journey's next stop. See you soon.
Bye-bye. Aya, say bye-bye.
Okay. Ay, na, nakastop na?
Not yet.
See you in our journey's next stop.
See you. Thank you, Tita Jana.
Yeah,